Two countries. Two completely different ways to start the day. Two philosophies that shape not just how people work, but how they live. In the United States, mornings begin with urgency. Alarms ring before the sun rises. Coffee is brewed while checking emails. Podcasts about productivity fill the air during a fast-paced commute. The atmosphere? Competitive. Focused. Hungry. From Wall Street to Silicon Valley, the message is clear. If you're not pushing forward, you're falling behind. It's not just work, it's identity. Titles, promotions, and LinkedIn achievements are more than career milestones. They're status, pride, and sometimes even self-worth. Meanwhile, in the Netherlands, the day starts on a different frequency. The alarm rings a little later. Maybe there's time for a proper breakfast, toast with cheese, a boiled egg, fresh orange juice. The bike is waiting by the door. The commute is often a calm ride along canals or quiet suburban paths. There's no rush, no panic, because here, work is important, but life is more than work. There's a collective understanding. People are not machines. Efficiency matters, yes, but so does mental well-being. So does time with your children. So does Friday off. Where one culture celebrates hustle and long hours, the other normalizes leaving the office by 5 and turning off email notifications after work. Where one system thrives on competition, the other leans into consensus and cooperation. It's easy to assume that the more hours you work, the more successful you become. But data tells a different story. The Netherlands ranks among the top countries for happiness, work-life balance, and even productivity. The US, for all its drive and innovation, struggles with burnout, stress, and inequality in the workplace. This isn't just about different work schedules. It's about different values, different definitions of success, and in the end, different outcomes, not just economically, but emotionally. So, which path would you choose? The high-speed ambition of the American dream, or the steady rhythm of Dutch balance? Stick around. You might just rethink what it means to live well. United States. Morning. In many parts of the U.S., the day starts painfully early. The alarm goes off at 6 or 6:30 a.m., especially in fast-paced cities like New York, Los Angeles, or Chicago. There's little room for slowness. People roll out of bed and straight into motion. A quick shower, a protein bar, or a couple of scrambled eggs if there's time, and coffee, always coffee. It's often in a paper cup, sipped in the car, or during a subway ride. The mindset isn't soft. It's sharp, goal-oriented. There's already a to-do list running in the background. Multitasking begins before teeth are even brushed. Some squeeze in a quick gym session, others skim through news or emails. For many, the day hasn't even started, but they're already in fourth gear. This mindset doesn't come from nowhere. It's embedded in the culture. Success is earned, not given. If you're not up early, someone else will be, and they'll be getting ahead. Weekday mornings in America are often defined by volume. News channels on TV, phone alarms chiming, cars honking, kids being rushed out the door. It's not just a time of day. It's a gear shift into a competitive mode of being. The American morning is less about serenity and more about momentum. There's also an emotional undercurrent, stress, expectation, urgency, but also motivation, purpose, drive. Some feel exhausted, others energized. But nearly everyone feels on the clock from the second they wake up. Commute. Most Americans drive to work. In suburban areas, commuting can take 30, 45, or even 90 minutes one way. It's a culture built around highways, traffic lights, and drive-thrus. Some eat breakfast in the car or sip their second cup of coffee while navigating through rush hour congestion. In bigger cities, people take public transit, subways in New York, buses in LA, commuter rails in Boston or DC. But even on the train, the pace doesn't slow. People stare at laptops, review spreadsheets, answer emails, or scroll LinkedIn. Headphones in, podcast on, brain already tuned into productivity. There's a kind of pride in this. It's not just about getting to work. It's about staying ahead, using every possible moment. A commute isn't lost time, it's pregame. It's an unofficial transition zone between home and hustle. People listen to self-help books, TED Talks, or YouTube breakdowns of economic trends. For some, the car or train becomes a mobile classroom or mobile office. Start of the workday. Work starts between 8 and 9 a.m. Offices vary. Towering glass buildings, suburban business parks, modern co-working spaces, or home setups on Zoom. But no matter the setting, the culture often feels the same, structured, ambitious, and saturated with meetings. There are daily stand-ups, project syncs, goal check-ins, and one-on-ones. Calendars are full. Slack channels buzz constantly. KPIs, OKRs, quarterly goals. There's a language to the hustle. Even casual interactions are brief and strategic. The workplace is not just a place for work. It's often a battlefield for advancement. People track performance. Promotions are competitive. Visibility matters. Being seen as productive often holds just as much weight as actual output. Initiative is rewarded. Hesitation can be risky. There's also an emphasis on branding, personal branding. You're not just doing your job, you're building a professional story. LinkedIn posts, internal updates, elevator pitches, these are all tools of modern work identity. You're expected to speak confidently about your achievements, sell your ideas, and constantly look like you're leveling up. Lunch and breaks. Lunch is short and utilitarian. Usually 30 minutes, sometimes less. Many eat at their desk, fork in one hand, mouse in the other. Common lunches include salads, wraps, meal prep chicken and rice, or something grabbed from a nearby deli or delivery app. In high-demand jobs, skipping lunch entirely isn't uncommon, just another sacrifice for performance. Breaks? Technically allowed. But culturally, they come with guilt. A 5-minute breather might turn into a rushed apology. Sorry, just stepped away. Even companies with wellness programs or nap rooms often see them underused. In hustle culture, stepping away can feel like falling behind. Caffeine flows throughout the day. Office kitchens are stocked with energy drinks and cold brew. For some, lunch is less a meal and more a reset button, a chance to briefly switch tabs mentally before diving back in. Some workplaces encourage walking meetings or screen breaks, but these are often the exception, not the rule. Even during a break, people check their phones. The culture of constant connection makes it hard to truly unplug, even for 10 minutes. End of the workday. The official end is 5 or 6 p.m. The actual end is often much later. Staying online late is common, whether it's responding to emails at 9 p.m. or reviewing slide decks after dinner. Some people even wear their overtime like a badge of honor. There's an unspoken message. If you're ambitious, you don't stop at 6. You're reachable. You're committed. You're willing to go the extra mile and then a few more. In many offices, being the first to leave feels awkward. Even when no one says anything, it says something. The fear of appearing disengaged keeps many people tied to their screens. The workday blurs into the evening and often into the night. For remote workers, the boundaries are even fuzzier. Logging off doesn't always mean mentally checking out. Phones stay on. Slack notifications sneak into dinner. Weekend work? Not officially required, but quietly expected in some industries. The culture of urgency is so ingrained that even relaxing can feel like wasted time. There's pressure to keep improving, keep optimizing, even after hours. What's your side hustle is not a rare question. Evening. After work, people decompress in different ways, if they have the energy. Some hit the gym, others meet friends for drinks, while many just collapse onto the couch. But even in downtime, work often lingers in the background. TV plays while emails get answered. Grocery trips happen with AirPods in, taking calls on the go. Family dinners are squeezed in. For many parents, the evening is a second shift, helping kids with homework, prepping meals, cleaning up, then circling back to work once the house is quiet. Leisure exists, but it's often structured and squeezed between responsibilities. Mindfulness apps, fitness trackers, time-blocked calendars, even relaxation is optimized. Social life, too, can feel time-boxed. Friends are scheduled weeks in advance. Even hobbies may feel like performance, running marathons, launching side projects, learning new tech skills. Evenings are not about winding down, they're about maximizing the hours left. You relax, but you measure it. The American evening reflects the same logic as the morning: productive, planned, purposeful. Cultural notes. Titles and hierarchy matter. People notice who you report to, what your role is, how quickly you climb the ladder. Dress codes vary. Tech and startups lean casual, but finance, law, and corporate sectors expect sharp business attire. Work is a core part of identity. It's common to introduce yourself with your job title. Success is visible and aspirational. Meetings are frequent and structured. Agendas, follow-ups, calendar blocks, everything is time managed. Pride and productivity. Being busy is often a brag, not a burden. Feedback is direct and tied to results. Performance reviews are expected and frequent. You should know your metrics and how to talk about them. What surprises foreigners? How much time Americans spend working, even outside office hours. The normalization of having only 2 weeks of vacation per year. The subtle pressure to always be available, even during personal time. The energy and optimism around career growth, even when it leads to burnout. The lack of long midday breaks. Lunch is not a social event. It's fuel. The speed and intensity of communication, direct, fast, and focused on outcomes. The culture of competition. Coworkers may be friendly, but advancement is personal. The emphasis on ambition from a young age. High schoolers in turn, college students hustle, and 30-year-olds lead departments. A day in the life, Netherlands. Morning. In the Netherlands, the day begins with calm. Most people wake up around 7:30 or 8 a.m., noticeably later than in the U.S. The mornings are slow and deliberate. The first priority? Breakfast. A simple meal, but never rushed. Slices of bread with cheese or jam, a boiled egg, maybe yogurt with granola, and always a fresh cup of coffee or tea. Unlike the frantic mornings in some cultures, Dutch mornings carry little sense of panic. There's no glorification of being exhausted. People value being well-rested, not because it's nice, but because it's seen as responsible. Sleep is considered part of productivity, not the enemy of it. Parents get their children ready for school with time to spare. The home atmosphere is typically quiet, orderly, and light-filled. Weather permitting, windows are often open. Dutch homes tend to embrace daylight, large windows, minimal curtains, a connection to the outside world. People don't rush through their routines. Some read the news with their coffee. Others water their plants, listen to the radio, or bike with their kids to school before heading to the office. The transition into the workday feels natural, not forced. It's a rhythm shaped more by consistency than urgency. Commute. Most Dutch people commute by bike. It's not a lifestyle trend, it's infrastructure. The country is designed for cycling. Separate bike lanes, traffic lights for bikes, and parking garages just for bicycles. It's not uncommon to see people commuting in business attire, with a laptop bag over the shoulder and a child in a seat behind them. The commute is rarely longer than 30 minutes. It's also a transition time, not a productivity window. People use this time to breathe, enjoy fresh air, or simply be alone with their thoughts. It's movement without stress, something between a routine and a ritual. In larger cities, some use public transit or drive. But even then, the pressure is minimal. There's an emphasis on arriving on time, but without frantic energy. Being 5 minutes early is considered professional. Being 20 minutes early might raise questions. Cycling also fosters a sense of physical well-being. Movement is built into the day. It replaces gym sessions and creates a low-level baseline of fitness without requiring extra time. Start of the workday. The workday usually begins between 8:30 and 9:30 a.m. The environment is practical and calm. Offices are modern but not flashy. Open space layouts are common, but noise levels are low. Conversations are direct, not small talk driven. Dutch work culture is built on clarity, independence, and trust. Micromanagement is rare. Employees are expected to manage their own time and tasks, and in return, they're given a high degree of autonomy. Meetings are efficient, often starting exactly on time and sticking closely to the agenda. Being late is considered disrespectful. There's a flat hierarchy in most companies. Junior staff are encouraged to speak openly. Managers don't sit in private offices, they work among the team. Respect isn't tied to titles, but to ideas. A good idea can come from anyone, and it's expected that everyone contributes. Emails are brief. Presentations are to the point. Office culture values transparency over polish. You don't have to oversell your work, you just have to do it well. And if you need help, you're expected to ask for it early. Lunch and breaks. Lunch happens around noon, and it's light. A few slices of bread with toppings, maybe soup or a salad. People don't leave the office for long lunches. There are no 3-course meals or wine, but they do stop working. Meals are taken together, often in a designated lunchroom. No laptops, no meetings, just food and conversation. Lunch is more social than ceremonial. People talk about their weekend plans, the weather, or local politics. It's a moment to recharge, not just physically, but mentally. And it's protected. Scheduling a meeting over lunch would be considered rude unless absolutely necessary. Breaks are encouraged. A walk around the block, a coffee in the lounge, or a chat with colleagues about non-work topics. Some companies have ping-pong tables or foosball, but even without these, people find small rituals to separate parts of their day. The afternoon coffee, often called a bakkie, is a moment of reset. Productivity is seen not as grinding nonstop, but as doing your job well within the time you're given. Working longer hours isn't seen as heroic, it's seen as inefficient. End of the workday. The workday typically ends around 5 p.m., sometimes earlier on Fridays. People pack up and leave without guilt. There's no silent judgment for walking out on time. In fact, staying too late might raise eyebrows. Are you not managing your time well? Emails after hours? Uncommon. Many Dutch companies respect a right to disconnect. Managers don't expect answers at 9 p.m. Work hours are for work. Even high-level executives model this behavior. Weekends are off-limits unless there's a true emergency. The result? People leave work without stress lingering on their shoulders. The mind shuts off along with the office lights. You're expected to have a life outside of work. It's part of being a functional professional. Work-life balance isn't just a phrase, it's a structure, a norm. It's reflected in national policy, parental leave, sick leave, and even in the layout of cities, where everything is designed to be close, accessible, and human-scaled. Evenings in the Netherlands are truly personal time. People cook dinner at home, often with family or friends. Meals are simple but thoughtful: vegetables, potatoes, fish or meat, with water, tea, or a glass of wine. After dinner, many go for a walk or bike ride. Others take part in clubs, classes, or simply relax at home. Screens are used, but not dominated. There's a strong culture of doing things offline: reading, gardening, crafting, playing music. Dutch homes are set up for coziness, the famous concept of gezelligheid. It's about warmth, togetherness, and a sense of peace. Candles, blankets, dim lights. Evenings are about comfort, not performance. For families, evenings are sacred. Parents spend time with children, help with homework, read bedtime stories. It's a rhythm that doesn't feel rushed. No one's checking Slack at the dinner table. Even for single professionals, evenings are filled with purpose, but not pressure. Language classes, community activities, or simply enjoying the sunset from a balcony. The Dutch know how to unwind without needing to escape. Cultural notes. Directness is a virtue. People say what they mean. It's not considered rude, it's efficient. Equality in the workplace. There is little visible hierarchy. The CEO might bike to work just like everyone else. Part-time work is normalized. Many people, including men, work 32 or even 28 hours a week. Career ambition and free time are not seen as opposites. Meetings are practical. No fluff, no showmanship, just decisions. Work isn't an identity. It's a role you perform, not who you are. People are defined more by their interests than their job titles. What surprises foreigners? The level of autonomy given to employees. The fact that a 4-day work week is not rare and doesn't harm career progression. That leaving on time is seen as healthy, not lazy. The absence of hustle culture. Nobody brags about working late. The value placed on leisure, privacy, and calm. The way feedback is given, blunt, honest, and meant to be useful, not personal. That people don't live to work. They work to live, and that's celebrated. Comparison, ambition versus equality. Wake-up time. The difference is striking right from the start. In the U.S., many people wake up between 6 o'clock and 6:30 a.m., sometimes even earlier if they have a long commute or a gym session before work. The American morning is a battle against time, with alarms, coffee, multitasking, and motion. In contrast, in the Netherlands, most people rise around 7:30 or 8 a.m. The mornings are slower, more peaceful, with time set aside for a calm breakfast and a bike ride. Sleep is protected, not sacrificed. Start of the workday. Americans typically start their workday between 8 o'clock and 9 a.m., with many already tuned into work even earlier through emails or calendar checks. The tone is focused and fast. In the Netherlands, the workday starts around 8:30 or 9:30 a.m., depending on the company and region. But the entry into the day is more measured. The workplace is quiet, and expectations are clear but calm. There's less noise, both literal and metaphorical. Office type and atmosphere. The U.S. offers everything from sleek corporate high-rises to chaotic open-plan startups to fully remote environments. But across all types, the pressure is usually high. Buzzwords, status, and performance are visible and often vocalized. Dutch offices are functional and modest. No fancy perks, no bean bags or over-the-top branding. The culture leans toward minimalism and practicality. Work is taken seriously, but not emotionally. You're expected to contribute, not compete. Stress levels and overtime. In the U.S., stress is part of the package. Long hours are normalized. It's common to answer emails late at night or work weekends. Overtime often isn't paid, it's expected. In the Netherlands, overtime is rare and often frowned upon. If you're consistently staying late, people assume you're mismanaging your time. Work is structured to fit within the workday. The right to disconnect is real and respected. Lunch and breaks. In the U.S., lunch is quick and solo, often eaten at the desk. Breaks are short and sometimes avoided altogether. Productivity is measured in hours and speed. In the Netherlands, lunch is light but social. Breaks are seen as necessary, not indulgent. People step away from their desks. Conversation matters. There's time to reset. Attitude toward management. Americans often navigate clear hierarchies. Managers are authority figures and ambition is often tied to climbing the ladder. Titles, corner offices, and promotions carry weight. In the Netherlands, hierarchy exists but is subtle. Managers often sit among staff. Communication is flat and direct. Employees aren't intimidated by leadership, they're collaborators, not followers. Work-life balance. The U.S. talks about work-life balance but often struggles to achieve it. Vacation time is short, 2 weeks is common, and many don't even take all their days. Hustle culture is celebrated. In the Netherlands, work-life balance is institutionalized. 4-day workweeks, generous vacation policies, and social norms all protect personal time. Work is important, but it's never the whole story. Freedom and flexibility. Both countries offer forms of freedom, but in different ways. In the U.S., freedom means opportunity, to rise, to earn, to grow. But with that freedom comes risk, instability, and pressure. Flexibility is possible, but often tied to privilege. In the Netherlands, freedom means time, the ability to disconnect, the right to step away without fear of judgment. Flexibility is a standard, not a luxury, baked into contracts, schedules, and public services. Overall experience. Living and working in the U.S. can feel like an endless sprint. It's exciting, energizing, and full of potential. But it's also exhausting. The highs are high, but the burnout is real. Working in the Netherlands feels more like a well-paced marathon. It's consistent, respectful, and sustainable. It may not promise glory, but it promises peace. No moral judgment, just contrast. Both systems offer value, depending on what you seek. If you thrive on challenge, ambition, and rapid growth, the American way might suit you. If you value structure, calm, and consistent well-being, the Dutch model may feel like home. It's not about which is better, it's about what fits you.